welcome, good morning, good afternoon, or evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Media Podcast. We've talked about things.
369. 369. You had what?
Oh shit!
Anyway, I suppose that kind of
says
fits.
369.
That says 369.
That says 369.
So what? I was going to make a 69 joke, but I'm not going to do that.
69, that's kind of like the sucking each other off maneuver.
No, that's nose in asshole maneuver.
Says we got drama, man. We got drama. But I guess, I'm Alex, joined by Jim and James.
Hello.
Before we get too deep into the show, let me shout out those Jar Media patrons over at the Patreon to make the audio versions of the show possible. Get their names read out in the first or second week of each month, like the previous episode, but get in there for next month. Get your Tim stickers.
Tim?
Oh yeah, the important man, he's spreading. He's spreading far and wide. So head over to the spring store. Check out Timothy.
Can you stop sticker bombing, please, in public? It's disrespectful. Don't do that.
No, do it.
No, don't do it.
Do it.
Why is it acceptable?
Well, I think you decide. It's not for anyone to say.
No, don't. No. I'm deciding.
So
They're representing Jar Media. Someone might go to Japan and do it, and then they will literally they will disgust everyone in the society, and that'll be on our behalf, and that's not on.
I'm fine with it. Ow!
So
I just got bit.
Oh, she bited.
Go away.
Billy bites.
That's upset me.
And that's mean.
She kept clawing me, and when I took the
poor
claws
baby
out,
doesn't
she
like
bit
being
me.
clawed.
I don't like being bit.
I do.
Got bit by the cat.
So
Sorry.
Look at my scar.
I'll tell you what's
please,
scarring, guys. Something that needs to be addressed. Okay?
The drama.
This is the drama.
The jar
All right, the jarama of the week.
Okay.
Now, I know people were anticipating the latest entry in a certain saga. A certain STING. And certain things in the stock market kind of changing, things happening, interest rates being what they are. We're kind of in a position where we're going to have to put a pin on Sting Part 4, which I know you're not going to like to hear. I know no one's going to be happy about it. I know James is crestfallen in particular about this. He's really crestfallen.
I'm happy.
Even though James does kind of wind up winning from this because it means his series gets to usurp.
No, I'm
Sting
willing
before
to
he even
announce
gets to
right
wrap
now
up.
that Renown is being cancelled. There's not going to be Renown.
Jarama too.
Oh man, layers of it. Couldn't prime me before the show, man. Huh? Man, so that means like we're going full Marvel right now. We're like putting our plans on hold. We're reassessing.
Yeah, or what do they call it? The like graph with all of the
timeline.
No, the what do they use it in video games as well? The like plan. It's like their plan for the
I know what you mean.
The
I can't remember.
timetable.
No, it's not the timetable.
Their plan.
Yeah,
God damn it.
They're like content that's coming in the future.
Their content
Roadmap.
map. Oh, roadmap.
The roadmap. The roadmap is being reassessed.
Re-roaded.
Yeah, railroaded.
Yeah, we're being railroaded into redesigning and reassessing the rails of the road. Map.
I find it funny in retrospect that the Halo Infinite roadmap was just we're finishing the game. Game might be finished. We're finishing the game.
2 years later.
They didn't finish the game, they've given up on it. You should listen to me from day one.
Should listen to me from day -1.
Hey, you were confident on that game.
Me? No, I wasn't.
Who you are?
I was the trepidatious one, and people were like...
You loved it, James.
You can't gaslight me into myself.
Let's do some housekeeping, then we round out some of those conversations from the previous week.
Okay.
There was, I don't normally do this, but there was like a notification on the Jar Media YouTube, not on the last episode, but I just saw this. It was a comment left on one of the shorts, right? 3 stoners on a podcast on YouTube Shorts talking about controversy. How controversial.
I'm not a stoner.
Stoners.
I've
Yeah,
not
that's
stoned.
fine.
I've not been stoned.
That's funny. Yeah, I've never seen that. Like,
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't describe myself as a stan.
yeah, I just thought that was an interesting one.
Oh, they're men on a podcast. They must be stoned.
Yeah,
Because only
That's
all
like
men smoke weed.
that's an interesting
vagina.
phenomenon. The episodes where people are like, "Oh, they're clearly stoned on this one," never true. Always wrong.
Yeah.
Every time they've commented that, it's been wrong. Every time.
The
And the
episodes where
times
you
where
are.
it's been true, they've never noticed. So it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you actually have no clue.
No, because I'm also involved in the ones where it's like, or clearly stoned. It's like I've never been stoned on an episode
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
The
Which, like-
times where you guys are, I don't even know.
Have
You
been.
tell me
I
like
mean,
a month later.
It's been literal like years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I even knew at the time.
Yeah, well, it's like sometimes things just happen. Like last episode, right, where I had my peach iced tea making me go crazy.
Yep.
Give me a little bit of
It's
excitement.
It's E numbers. It's not stones. It's E numbers.
Yeah.
Making me a little bit excited. I didn't know that was like the early stages of influenza as well. So I had this like nasty cough.
delirium.
I was feeling like, yeah, like what's the term?
Sick.
Delirium.
Delirium. Which then of course makes the wackiness come out in droves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Zoomies.
Basically, yeah, I had the zoomies last episode.
I hate getting the zoom. Do you ever get the zoomies where you're just actually going to cry? Like sometimes I'll be laying in bed, it'll be 11 o'clock and I'll get hit by zoomies so much that it's like, I don't want to around the house screaming, why not? I'm going to cry.
Of course, some of the comments,
You never had that?
No.
Look, it was a long time ago I had that, to be fair.
some of the comments obviously were, and I'm sorry again, man, in relation to part 4. People were, they had theories going, like the Enigma 2897. Sting part 4 predictions. Final sponsor is Robotics. Jim Colossal.
You just said that name.
Obviously, I would have beeped it. Jim Colossal fart in microphone stinks up entire set. James's chair breaks mid-cast. New James.
Can't happen, it's already broken.
Yeah. New James opinion shatters the fan base. Ends on a cliffhanger. Sting part 4, part 2. Teased in final moments of show.
Awesome.
I don't think there's an opinion I can have that's going to divide anyone again. There's been too bad.
That's true, actually. Maybe
It's over. I'm not controversial anymore. I've moved on.
part of what we're scared of with Sting part 4 is the kind of Dune problem, where like part 4 for us is kind of like the first Dune novel, where it's quite complicated, difficult to translate.
Packed.
Might need 2, if not 3 parts, you know, like Harry Potter style or Hobbit style or
The other one.
Fast and Furious
Twilight.
X style or
There's Twilight. There's the Hunger Games.
the Hunger Games style.
So the options are there.
Why haven't we had games that are part 1 and part 2? Like an
We
actual
have.
part 1 and part 2 story, not a sequel.
The new
Ever
Final
played
Fantasy
Telltale?
7 remake.
That is one,
that,
yeah. That is one.
That's true. Telltale.
Yeah. Halo 3.
No, Halo 2.
Halo 2 kind of was, yeah.
Halo 2 into Halo 3.
Kajol says the editing of these recent casts have been so surreal and chaotic. I love it. Keep it up.
No.
Look,
Changing.
it's Argy.
Someone, Yamo Yuska was coming to your defense, James. James wearing underwear to go to sleep is completely normal. What were they talking about, lol?
Yeah, why the hell don't you wear underwear to go to sleep?
This was, I feel like this was more of a gym issue. I don't remember having
I love
a
wearing underwear
protest
to
of
go to sleep.
James's
Well,
tidy
when you wear-
whities.
When you wear tighty whities.
I don't wear
you get-
tighty white. Do you want me to pull my underwear out now?
Only if they're tighty whities.
They're not. They're dick-nui.
Well, why would I want to see your underwear if they're not tighty whities?
I don't sleep in tighty whities. Like, man can't even sleep naked. It's impossible. Who
It's
sleeps naked?
Extremely possible.
It's not. No,
There was
no.
one really elaborate long comment that was upset by you saying that, but I didn't screenshot
No,
that.
why? No, I want to know why they're upset about that now.
Because that's not true. It's nice sleeping naked.
No, it's
you get
not.
wee everywhere, a bit of poo, bit of
No.
cum.
You can't sleep with that free.
You can.
No, it's so uncomfortable. It's like
It's
this.
not.
How?
It's so uncomfortable. I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack.
That's you, man. That's on you.
Well, obviously, I'm talking from my
That's
point of
your-
view because it's my opinion.
It's like a texture thing.
It's not. Well, it is. It's a texture on the knob type of thing.
Texture. Yeah.
It's cock texture, and it's like when you're trying to like roll over in bed, and it's just like slapping around. It's like this is not comfortable.
Slapping around. What are you helicoptering in bed?
Yeah, it seems you. That's how you roll over. Is you helicopter with enough momentum to move you. No, but it's like you don't want. It's like you're going to be laying on your testicles then.
No. You grab each ball and like put each leg into them as like a sleeping bag, and then you grab the winky and use it like a body pillow.
Like that sleeping naked is like not on. It's like, and it's like I napped yesterday in socks. Freakish, and I got up and I was just like, why am I still in socks?
It's a weird feeling.
It's so weird.
Being in bed with socks on, really strange.
It's not right.
But in the darkest, coldest nights of winter, sometimes it's just got to be done.
No.
Just socks. Naked, just socks.
That's munted. Why? I love feeling the cold bedding against my feet. It feels so relaxing. It's like on my legs.
Well, you also need the option to, when you need emergency cool down, just the old pop one foot out.
Oh, perfect.
Which you need socks off to be able to do. You know?
No, but have you ever felt the immense ecstasy of being in bed for a while with socks on?
And then
when you feel the sleepiness coming, take the socks off.
Oh yeah.
I get that, because you're still you'll get that last hurrah of like you're going to go to sleep now.
And then
it's cold.
the contrast between warm sock fit and cool
bedding. Yeah, I get that.
Toesy woesies is kind of super.
That is satis.
I get that. I completely get that. I will accept that opinion on this day.
Shake hand.
I'm going to accept this opinion from Moniac. Around the survivors, a perimeter create. These Sting episodes are really great. So that's another one let down. I'm sorry.
Good.
I'm really sorry.
Oops.
And Sahad30 says, a perfect trilogy like the Cars series. Can't wait for that unnecessary part 4 like Toy Story and Kung Fu Panda. True.
Yeah.
And finally, Isaac Collins says this. This is going to be one of those episodes they look back on in 2 years and completely cringe. Why?
We can only cringe if we actually go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Which I don't do.
Yeah, if
I do that sometimes. I went back and listened to the segment, I think it was from 2019, where we came up with the cult, the jar cult, and the rules.
Okay.
And that was a funny segment.
Was that Bracket Blue?
That was.
Does that involve Bracket
this was
Blue?
after Bracket Blue.
Okay. Bracket Blue rocked.
That was the political campaign.
Yeah.
I generally feel like I don't need to know anything I've ever done. I go to bed not like forgetting like what I did 7 years ago.
That's always an option, you know. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss.
Do you consider yourself a fresh human every day?
You're reborn every
A human
day.
born fresh every day?
Not every day.
Every few days, every week.
It's like you only feel like that when you've actually slept properly. So on the weekends, it's like you've got a fresh bit of life and you're motivated to do things on your weekend because you haven't got to go to work.
But there is an argument to be made that the person who wakes up every day is a different person. Because there's a break.
Yeah, because one of my cells has moved around in my sleep. So yeah, I'm a different person. Fundamentally, I'm different.
Not in your like
biological
etymology. I mean,
no, because there's not in your day to day. There's not much changing.
But there is enough of a change.
There's not.
There's a break in continuity. In your lived experience.
I don't think so. Because when you're going,
there is a break. Though.
When you're going to work every day and you're in that routine, there's nothing huge. There's no big change that's going to happen. And the only time you're going to wake up and feel like there's a change is if you're like planning something or doing something different to break up that monotony of your day to day life. So when you're like, oh, I'm going away or I'm doing X or Y, that's when it's like you're changing in your mind because you're doing things and experiences that are going to make you grow. And it's that growth that is the different change. So if you're doing in a week period of 5 days, you've done nothing and thought of nothing, you've not changed when you get to the weekend. It's those new experiences and the new ideas you have and the new plans you have.
Experience.
Tell that to Charlie Foof.
That was an experience. Getting broken down in that car was an experience.
In Charlie?
Yep. The name isn't Charlie Foof, if anyone wondering. This was projected onto me in my car.
I really like it.
It really fits, doesn't
But do you want to trade cars so you can have Shirley Foof?
What have you got against Charlie? You've like suddenly turned.
Look at the car. It's not a Charlie. A Charlie's like a.
It is a Charlie.
No, it's not. It's too sporty to be Charlie.
You're
A
insulting
micro.
all the Charlies listening. What if there's a really sporty
Sorry.
Charlie listening?
A 40?
Sporty
Charlie.
Sporty Charlie is listening right now, and he's
Well,
like,
I'm
what the
talking
hell,
about a
man?
car. I'm not talking about an actual person.
Really, Sporty Charlie with his sporty car.
No,
Everyone
but
calls
look
him
at that
Sporty
car. It's
Charlie,
not
bro.
a Charlie.
You seen Charlie
It behaves like a Charlie, though.
What, shitly? Like it's going to explode every second of the time I touch
Does
it.
your car behave that way?
I blew a drive shaft up and it going around a
Yeah,
corner.
but that was kind of on you, right?
There's a
No,
bounty out
forget
for
what I
Charlie
did. No,
Foof.
forget what I did the week before. Not on me. Doing burnouts in it constantly, not blow that car up.
Okay.
I can imagine some
Don't blame
outlaws.
Charlie.
James House and Charlie Foof. Outlaws. On the run.
Get back here, Charlie. Charlie Foof.
No,
The
no,
Foof
I
gang.
disagree. I'm not a Charlie Foof fan.
His notorious horse, Charlie Foof.
The Foof gang and the House gang
Why
have been
are you
warring.
so obsessed with Cowboys?
Because it's cool.
They are cool. What's a
it doesn't-
cooler? Do you think knights are cooler?
There's definitely some
table.
There's definitely some romanticism to knights.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah,
Like
And
there is-
I just
like the Old
think-
West is romanticized as well.
Yeah.
it's not as romanticized for me. Yeah, I don't see it that way. It's like this. You think this mainly because of the media you've consumed,
But so do you. For you.
but then actually look back at the history of actual cowboys. Realism. It's like you want to be a fucking cowboy.
No, I don't want to
No.
be a cowboy. I think it's a cool setting for things.
No, yeah, the fantasized setting of it.
Yeah.
No, the real setting is cool as well.
Well, just
That period.
being
Okay.
yeah, but
The Wild
Fascinating.
West. Awesome.
Like lawless, like...
Legoland, the Wild West. Legoland, Lego.
I was looking at that. I was
Legoland.
looking at the like 90s Lego set, and they did a line of like cowboy sets.
Yeah.
And there was a fort they did. It was called like Fort Legodale or something.
Fort Mercer.
Bro, it's like one of the best sets ever. I think it's my
Really?
white whale set. I've looked on Bricklink. It's like 300 quid now. It probably was
Wow.
like 50 quid when it came out.
Yeah,
buy
probably
it.
less. Probably less, given the when it came out and the.
it was
The
probably
economy.
it was probably like £5.
It's probably like 5p.
Yeah.
A shilling.
It was probably like 20% of what a house costs.
A shilling.
Yeah, couple shillings, you can get yourself a property.
Yeah, bro.
Going back though, what's cooler?
Legorado.
See, that is very cool. I like
It's
that.
like a proper just cowboy fort right there.
So, but
The wagon with the cannon on
Yeah.
it? Hell
It's
yeah.
like a proper cool line.
see, when you think about that era of like the cow, when was the cowboy era? It was like late 1800s. It was like started to be the end of the cowboy era.
Yeah, it was
So it's like-
ending the
Yeah,
like
1800s.
1910 or something.
Yeah,
like,
so
wrapped up.
you think peak 1800s, honestly. Honestly, I think European history more during that time was probably...
No, that's the lane.
The Industrial Revolution. Jesus, no
Okay, you're gonna have to
thanks.
get
like
me...
little
That's
boys cleaning
way-
chimneys and stuff. That's
yeah.
lame. Like cowboys
Lame
cool.
as hell.
Like the front, like taming the frontier.
Yeah.
But then
all
at the
this
same time, at that same era, you've probably got the death of the shogunate era in Japan. That's also highly fascinating.
Both
'Cause
are
that's
cool
when-
though.
When
Well, a lot of like cowboy stuff is inspired
By
by,
Japan- yeah, that's
by
a fake
Japanese
shogun.
like
shogun,
yeah, shogun samurai
shit.
stuff because they kind of represent the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm a weeb, if you haven't... Everyone knows I'm a weeb, so naturally it's like, if I'm going to think of a cool period, it's just like, no, I'm just thinking of Japan. So cowboys just don't do it for me.
Because you're
There's only room for
Ameriphobic.
one.
It
are.
being America does make a difference. But even like when I think of cowboys, I almost think of, it wasn't the cowboy era, but it was obviously the explorative era of America. You know, the Oregon Trail era. That's way more interesting than cowboys.
That-
for me.
No, that's like the Civil War and stuff. And
Oh,
all
yeah, but
that.
that predates
that
us.
includes cowboys though. Have you? That's probably my favorite.
Isn't that early cowboy era though? That's really early cowboy era. Almost the origins of the cowboy era, because that's when they were exploring that region that obviously opened up.
But like the
See, I'm not
the caravans and stuff, like they were going on for ages. Because it was like an ordeal. If you lived on the West Coast and you wanted to travel.
No, East Coast. It was the East Coast was colonized first, and that was the West.
But
Coast.
I mean, like either or. If you wanted to travel from one part of America to another, and there were lots of like arranged marriages and such like at the time. So these two like strangers would just be put together, and one of them would have to travel to the other. That was like an ordeal.
Yeah, no, and I found that really interesting, and like but that's the thing, that's reality. So when you think of the reality of like the cowboy era, besides the examples of the outlaws who were robbing trains and caravans and whatnot, that didn't happen. Compared to how big the cowboy era was, of what the actual reality of it was.
What didn't happen?
As in the outlaws were few and far between. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, there weren't like millions of them, but people like Billy the Kid and stuff like existed. There was that crazy gang that like would rob trains, and they would like Robin Hood it. The whole thing was basically like redistributing wealth. It's like really badass stuff, and this did happen.
It did, yeah.
They just would have been stinky as hell while doing it.
Yeah, that's a huge fight. But then it's like when I think of that, I also think of Butch Cassidy.
Yeah,
that shit's cool as fuck. But obviously, it's a different thing to what you're on about. Like, yeah, cowboys, but it's very different in the representation. Where it's just like, yeah, I get the romanticization of Butch Cassidy when having gunfights with South Americans. Why haven't you seen Butch Cassidy?
I don't know. Why haven't you?
Both of you, cowboy fans. Why the fuck haven't you seen Butch Cassidy?
Why haven't you seen Run? Ran.
It's on the list. I just haven't got around to.
Exactly.
Also, on the subject, but naturally this came to my mind. I saw the advert for Shogun.
Yeah, I started watching it a little bit.
How have you found it?
I've only watched like 20 minutes of the first episode just to kind of see what the production was like.
Is it really high production?
It was pretty good production. The performances seem good. It's based on like a really famous novel. It's supposed to be like excellent, and it's just like a one season thing, complete story.
What's it on?
It's on Disney Plus in the UK.
Okay.
Isn't the John Wick 4 guy in it? Isn't he one of the main actors? Or is it the girl? The girl from John Wick 4.
It's the Japanese fella.
Yeah,
from John Wick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I recognise him from other stuff. I think.
Yeah,
really
he's quite famous.
Cool guy.
Japanese actor.
That's that. And actually, you mentioned Cowboy. That was on my mind. 'Cause it's like I might watch that. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So it's like I like Shogun stuff. I'm a fucking weeb. I might watch it.
Yeah.
I've actually just I've acknowledged the weeb accusations that have been leveraged at me for literal years. I'm never gonna live this down.
Well, we always knew, like denying it. Never
Yeah, you always knew.
Yeah, it's obvious. I'm literally going to be importing fabric from Japan to put in my car. Like, you can't get any more. Seriously, you can't get any more than me.
My weebism has ebbed and flowed over the years. I've been more or less. Probably peaked early 20s.
Mine probably peaked.
When you're 5 and you watch one episode of Dragon Ball Z and you're like, this is cool.
No, I never watched Dragon Ball Z.
So yeah, I missed
Rest in peace, my man.
Yeah,
I like his art a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome character.
The like slime design from Dragon Quest, and he's really, really underrated. Like vehicles and stuff he would draw. What's that? Chrono Trigger did the art for.
Yeah,
a lot of cool vehicle designs and stuff in that. And of course, like I've never really got into Dragon Ball, but the designs are like iconic,
mega iconic.
Yeah, it was cool to see an artist being celebrated like that. Like it doesn't happen that often. You know, like an illustrator getting like
I think he touched a lot of hearts and souls.
Yeah.
To be fair, when the Berserk guy passed as well, that was like an outcry of like. I just remember seeing loads of, because I was still using social media at the time, seeing loads of just like images of his artwork, and it's like, Jesus Christ, it's stunning. It's stunningly like intricate.
I love him and the contrast of us. Like, man genuinely didn't do Berserk volumes because he was too busy playing Idolmaster games. It's like the cutest like fucking shit ever, and the man is like drawing like depravity in extensive detail. That's why Berserk was never finished. Man was just addicted to video games.
All been there.
Yep.
Well, I guess before we go to mid-break, I kind of want to mention Dune a second. Jim hasn't seen it yet.
Here's the spoilers.
But I think it's interesting because you definitely liked it the least. Like, you saw part one.
They're touching each other too much.
You weren't that into it.
They don't. I've seen it again recently, and they don't touch that much. Duncan Idaho touches him. Oh no,
Duncan.
His dad touches him. Oh no, it's affection.
If you want,
I didn't need to make my point again.
If you think the touching's too like weird and awkward in the part one, in the Lynch one, there's the scene where Paul has a conversation with his dad, and his dad is supposed to be like all heartfelt, like the equivalent scene basically. And it's like the most awkward, like spine-chilling scene. Where he's like, he just like holds on the dad's face, just like staring at Paul with like a smile, like just really awkwardly for like, it feels like 2 minutes, just like holding on it. It's like, what is going on? This is mad.
Yeah, I mean, there's levels to it.
It didn't stand out to me as an issue. It makes sense for Paul's character.
I think the first part has issues.
Too much touching.
It's got some issues, but I wouldn't say in the realm of touching.
No, that's the biggest issue.
Are you bro?
They just push too hard with it.
Are you so touch-starved? You've come out the other end as being I don't like touch at all.
You. But if
that's well,
So what's your problem? You think it's not because it's supposed to be a shorthand, I guess, to imply some kind of rapport. You think it doesn't sell that they have an established relationship already?
I think it feels fake.
Okay. I didn't get that. We're watching it again recently. I didn't get that. The stuff with Duncan especially just makes sense. Because the whole thing with Duncan, it needs to be like that for there to be the development.
Well, my thing is I don't feel like Dune is character led. It's not really the characters that I'm watching it for personally. Yeah.
But it feels fake.
I get that because part of like Villeneuve's presentational style is very like detached and cold
and sterile. And then you got this giant beefcake like grabbing a tiny little twink.
I agree. That's more.
I love you. I think you're amazing. It's like, just like pat him or something. You know, like a hey.
Well, I guess
it doesn't need to be like, hey, how are you? You know,
I'm good.
No, it does.
Please.
It's like there's an intensity kind of dialed up. That's like, these two are friends. They are the best friends. That's my point. And it doesn't ruin the movie and everything I say about
that
it.
Right there is like, I would take that because it's a problem with like the lack of real estate you have to get the story moving. You got so much shit to communicate. A scene like that is preferable to like a prequel scene where it's like, remember that time on Roswell 6?
I was just thinking that, and I love that. I love when they're awkwardly standing in the elevator. That time didn't count, you know, but the other times they were pretty funny.
So yeah, I'll definitely take the shown implied.
Because like, I don't have an issue with characters like hugging in movies. I don't have a problem with like actors physically touching one another when the script asks for it. It's just in the instances, and I haven't seen the movie in fucking ages either. But I just remember thinking, unnatural, not right. It kind of broke the realism in my head. It's like, people don't act like this. You know, it felt like the script needed them to do it, to do what you were saying, to sort of accelerate this relationship.
The main examples that come to my head is when Paul first sees Duncan.
Yeah.
When they run up and they pat each other, I guess. But then they've got to like fast track the development of those characters to make it seem like they're connected. Hence why the later development. Because the earlier scene with Leto won Atreides.
The only scene,
his father.
The only example I remember of the touch making me feel funny is that one where they
the Jason Momoa one. I think they do it twice.
The patting.
Yeah,
is it patting?
Like,
yeah,
because there's like a time gap. Duncan goes a few weeks ahead.
Yeah,
and lives with the Fremen for a bit.
Yes, and then they see each other again.
Maybe it's that second time. I just remember there being one of those buzzy things.
Yeah, that's the second
in the background. Time. Yeah, I guess it was the second time then when it was like. Maybe it didn't feel like enough time had passed as well, to where they'd like behave like that again.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because in the movie it's not very far apart, right?
No, it's very quick. Like
so
a lot
for those two things to happen, like in our perception, right next to each other is like this feels.
And
strange.
Now, I don't know. Now I've seen Dune Part 2 twice.
I'm seeing
it again today.
Tonight, yeah.
I might see it again, actually.
Probably all of us will,
might go see it in IMAX.
Which will be interesting, because if we go to the one in Swindon, it will be our third times, your first.
Yeah.
So it'll be like...
I think people are definitely connecting much more with this one.
Yeah,
I am too, probably. But my stance is kind of like, you don't get the payoff of Part 2 without putting down the foundation of Part 1. But the payoffs aren't evident when you only had Part 1. It's like all the meat of the story basically starts unfolding in Part 2.
And Part 2 is fucking payoffs. Fantastic. And it weirdly, because I literally finished Part 1 again like 2 days ago, because I'm watching the second one again. And it's like, my perception of the way that story progressed was like, the first hour and 20 minutes is slow, but the shit that happens on Arrakis is like straight in the middle. And I thought it was way later the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting good development
and that to me was like the structure seemed more awkward without having the Part 2 thing, where like that huge siege in Part 1 is like it's fairly like kind of the halfway point of the movie, and it's like a big like crescendo like payoff moment, I guess, in that movie. Then it has to reel way back and start going into setup again, and then it like the story stops like just partway through the new setup, so it's like an awkward endpoint, ending with that like knife fight with the Fremen fella, which Yamis, which now after Part 2, and there's like an echo in the structure of it. It's like, that knife fight that feels like a bit of a. It's not like a very high point to end the film on. It's like compared to that huge siege and everything you've just seen, like it's a little like small scale knife fight. It's kind of like...
It's important though.
Yeah, but you don't understand kind of like what it's setting up, the rules it's setting up, the things it's establishing, and how it's going to pay that off later without, I guess, knowing the book or seeing Part 2. And I like that about it. It's improved some things about Part 1. But the biggest thing that I just didn't like about Part 1, I guess, was some of the music usage. There's like a vocal thing in the main theme, like shit, which there's a couple times in that first part where when they use it, it's like this ain't complimenting what I'm seeing. Whereas in contrast, in Part 2, the first time they use it, it's like, that is fucking hype, the way you've like timed that and introduced that.
Remind me.
It's one of the first major action sequences with around one of the harvesters.
Yes, got it. Yes, that is fucking hype.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shitting hell.
Just Part 2 is like super polished. Way more polished than Part 1.
And I think the Writer's Strike probably did a lot for that film.
I don't know, I think I just had time.
Like, do you think, having seen it, that the second book is Messiah?
Messiah, yeah.
Do you think that is going to hit the same as this?
I don't know if it has what the like action set pieces are like. I think it's more of like a political like drama type thing.
Yeah, because I guess it's focusing on the houses.
It's like I think there's a 12-year gap or time skip after the events of Dune, and it's about some kind of like royal intrigue, betrayal things going on. I don't know. I'm sure he has some plan for it.
Thinking about that might be closer to Villeneuve's specialty. Because if you think of Prisoners and Arrival, that is all about like the intrigue and this complex narrative. So him trying to navigate that through with a Dune sequel, that seems like even better.
And even then, like the action set pieces that are in Dune are like very nimble. He doesn't do the like, right, we're in the fight scene bit of like the third act where there's a war for 40 minutes. No. It's literally like 5 minutes, but it's like super efficient. It's really cool.
Really well paced, and it's tension. It doesn't let that tension drop off at wane. It gets it, and then it's really progressing with it. And the same with
the images he strings together. Like whenever there's a cut, the like implication with what happened in between is always like so clear, and like just gives you enough.
I'm like on Villeneuve. Where do you think Villeneuve goes from Dune? Because that probably is going to be his like biggest set of movies.
I think it's his most successful film as far as box office so far, which is like, good for his career.
Do you think he's now going to be poached for big IPs like on the level of Dune?
Borderlands 2 movie.
I mean, he's kind of at a point where he's like, what else does he have to prove in the sci-fi space? Maybe he needs to do something else, like just switch genre entirely. Like,
but he's done
something else.
He's done so much already.
Yeah,
he's done Sicario. That's that modern military, morally complex story. He's done Incendies,
Prisoner, abstract, weird like indie stuff with Enemy.
He's done Blade Runner, Arrival.
Heavy sci-fi, lighter sci-fi. Yeah, he's done like so much.
And one of the actual my favourite parts of Dune 2 were Javier Bardem. And
he has one of the best arcs. Like
he does
about it more,
especially when having watched the first one again, where he's much more of like a mysterious character because it's
he's like closed off. But
part
he
2
probably he is one of the more like tragic arcs, I'd say.
Yeah, and then Josh Brolin. When he comes in part 2, it's like,
another good harvester scene, yeah.
Oh yes, God, and especially I loved him in part 1 as well. Gurney, old Gurney.
He's not in it much, but like that line where he says "brutal" is like really memorable to me.
The Harkonnen are fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And that's like lore though, because that's like setting up that he knows the Harkonnens.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then part 2's like, he's coming back, boy. Woo. I'm a big fucking Villeneuve fan. I'm a loser, man.
I really like this world. I found an old audio interview with the writer of the book, Herbert, recorded in like the 60s or 70s, where he's like being interviewed about it, and just hearing his process and stuff of how he like his world building approach and like how he was inspired by all of it, because he was a journalist by trade, so he had this like super broad knowledge base of ecology, not just how it applies to like flora and fauna, but also like ecology within politics, within all of these things that make up the world. So he could like conceptualize this quite fleshed out like idea of he did some research on sand dunes or something, which was his inspiration. Like the whole ecology of sand dunes is really interesting, and they move like water, and there's all this stuff going on. What would that be like if there was a whole planet that was covered in sand? How do we get there? Blah blah blah. And then,
what if
super interesting.
Worms.
Yeah.
And yes, having gone through part 2, watching it and whatnot, I naturally, it's kind of coincided with the fact that I've kind of picked up the actual models of Warhammer again, and really enough, this also ties into Helldivers. Like, the more I'm going back and looking at lore again of Warhammer, it's like, fuck me. Like, everything's based off of Dune, and Warhammer, especially 40k, is like, this is fucking Dune.
Yeah.
Like, the Emperor is just the Emperor of the Imperium. It's called the fucking Imperium. There's like direct.
You can say the exact same about Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Empire, the Force, the Voice. Just all of it. The desert planet. they have spice in Star Wars. There's a drug in Star Wars called spice.
And it's like, I'm now liking Warhammer more because I'm like, I like Dune. And now it's like I'm looking at the Primarchs and the Astartes, and it's just like, they're just houses. They're just the houses of Dune.
I quite like going back and back into this. Why I like, I put Lord of the Rings on a pedestal. Not that like some of the concepts didn't exist before him, but the way he set them up is like, right, that's the foundation of like modern era of fantasy storytelling.
It's crazy. It's crazy how something can be so influential.
And just like, I love that like Dune was written in the 60s, and it's just like so true now, you know, like just the observation of like, yeah, we war over oil, let's turn that into something literary. All of the obvious like Middle Eastern inspiration, desert planet, it's called Arrakis. The kind of language structure using like Arabic kind of phrases and you know, Mu'abdaib, all this kind of stuff.
Lisan al-Gaib.
Gom Jabbar, all this kind of craziness. It's really good stuff.
It is. Just because I briefly mentioned Helldivers, it's interesting looking at Helldivers too. Which I don't think we mentioned we've been playing it, but it's like that game is just Warhammer. It's a Warhammer 40k game.
It's Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
It's
with a mix
Halo.
And Warhammer.
Yeah.
Love that game. Do like it a lot.
I think it's mostly Starship Troopers, honestly.
I disagree. The fucking director of the studio was just like, yeah, I'm gonna add microtransactions so I can buy Warhammer. Like there's like clear. The old automatons are just Necrons. So that's why I like playing against them.
I mean,
everyone the whole like, you know, the fascist, that spread democracy thing. That's straight.
Yeah,
from
the
Starship
like
Troopers.
the
it is a mixture of
it's like heavily
Starship
Troopers. The intro cutscene is like this could, if you told me this was like a trailer for a Starship Troopers game, I would believe you. Because
satire heavy.
That exact tone
is Starship Troopers, yeah. So some of the enemy designs are especially like, oh yeah, this is Warhammer. I see Warhammer.
Yeah, and the armor of the Helldivers and stuff. Like apparently the dev team, as like a team building exercise, they built a Warhammer like table.
Yeah.
Like the battlegrounds you make, like that was their team building exercise.
And it does make sense because it's like you're gonna take the best references, and Warhammer's so fucking huge. You're gonna definitely use that influence.
Yeah,
because it makes sense from like a game point of view as well.
Yeah. And it is also definitely inspired by Halo. Because like thinking about it, this exact game could have been made, and
it was pitched to 343, like a similar kind of concept of a game, like an ODST game fighting hordes of enemies in a replayable way. Obviously turned down. Didn't know what they had, and so okay, now Sony has a better Halo game.
Yeah, an ADST game. Yeah, crazy.
Nice one, guys.
I've noticed my ship is wed. Is the inside of your ship wed?
No.
Mine is. Don't know why now.
What's mine called? The SS Panther of Self-Determination.
Mine's the something Glory of Morning. And it's wed, I think, because if you buy the guns, your whole ship goes wed.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because I'm only upgrading guns so I can team Khaleesi. That's literally the only reason. It's fun. It's team killing should be forced in every game.
Energy pylons are like really bad for team killing.
Yes, no, fucking hell, yes.
And
We've been blasted.
Flamethrower.
The thing is, I love being team killed. As long as you get blasted in a funny way, it's good.
Yeah, if it's funny.
If you throw a 380mm orbital barrage at a location, funny thing, it's a wide area of effect bomb, and it's like if you throw it and your teammate's here, it will just go blow up your teammate instantly every time, first shot. Yeah. And when you upgrade them, so there's less damage drop off and there's more.
Yeah, more shots fired.
Your whole team is dead, and I love it. I find it funny.
Yeah, very emergent gameplay. Very. It's like classic, an instant classic. It's kind of the.
It's like this generation's Left 4 Dead is what it actually is.
Yeah, it's that old school game feel.
It feels something about it like reminds me of the 360 era.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And the funny thing is, we have to use game chat because of Discord's not connected to the Jar Media PlayStation account, so we are actually using game chat where it's shit
so then
quality.
We're actually interacting with like a real dude. Like
it feels like
a random American guy or something. Yeah,
it's fun.
Sick.
I will.
Make a new PSN account as well.
I have a choice.
Yeah, it doesn't have a choice.
Right, we'll see you after these messages. Hey, it's me, Zeus, the god. My fully endorsed the Jar Media merchandise available in the description below.
You stole it?
I stole it.
From where? You can't say that on camera.
Oops.
There'll be a federal investigation.
They can investigate these nuts on
Well, I'm on for a spoon, please.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 2 of the Jar Media podcast, where we are going to discuss Dune. I really liked it.
I didn't.
Are you going to come watch it tonight?
I thought it was lame.
Why aren't you going to come watch it tonight?
I don't know. I may not.
Well, you've got to book a ticket now, otherwise you won't be able to sit next to me.
I'm sat next to you now.
It's fine, you can sit on your worm.
The Dunacy.
Yeah, I guess this is the part where we answer questions from the
Jar Media subreddit. Head over there and leave questions for us.
Or don't.
Or do.
I ate a halloumi wrap last night. I felt like I was going to shit myself.
What? Hello? I'm a cowboy in the Wild West.
How's your cowboy voice?
Hi, I'm John the Cowboy. I'm John the Cowboy. And I'm a TikTok voice.
Hello there.
First no.
Shall I answer a call from my mother?
Yeah, go on.
She gave up.
She's probably going to ask you something about, like, Mama, where's the chickens? Did you put the chickens out?
Did you kill the chickens for a yummy roast?
What's your cowboy voice, James? Your character?
My character's called
Reagan.
Oh boy, I'm a
Revolver
cowboy.
Reagan.
Huh?
Revolver Reagan.
Revolver
And
Reagan.
I don't use a revolver.
Use a pistol.
No, I use a chain action revolver.
What?
It's a revolver, but you spin it up like one of those miniguns all the time.
I
So
like
it's like, in a duel, you go, no. Yeah.
They call me a cowboy, well, I'm a bison boy.
Okay.
Call me Bison the way I'll be buying your sons, bitch.
Jesus.
Well, speaking of buying sons, Paper Mache Dream says, weirdest place you ever took a wee-wee?
A public toilet in Salisbury. Because I had to pay £50 50p contactless to get in. And it was
tight.
fucking disgusting. And it stank.
Oh, really?
That's tight.
Disgusting.
I've peed many places, some strange, some normal. Some up, some down, some high, some low.
Yeah, I don't remember everywhere I pee.
Splashback.
What's a strange pee place?
I'd say
Off a bridge actually would
I
be
feel-
my answer.
Yeah, that is the weirdest one that can't be topped.
that's unique.
Yeah. Because, like, I feel like the question is different for men and women as well.
Yeah.
You know?
You kind of
I
have
think
more options as a man.
It's like weird. I'd say it's weird if you did it in, like, public. But if you find a hidey hole, then, like, if you really have to go, then, like, it's kind of acceptable. If you're intentionally, like,
Searching out.
searching out the most remote place possible where you're pretty much certain you're not going to be found, you know?
But there's nature. This is a thing. This is the male thing. It's like every man has pissed on a bush or a tree.
Yeah.
Every man. So it's not weird. That's
Yeah,
nature.
like on we used to go for bike rides when we were little teenagers in the countryside, and it was like middle of nowhere, gotta pee. Just run a little bit into the woods, find a nice thick tree,
Of course.
pee up it.
Yeah. So dogs do it. Men do it. But men are dogs. There's
I
no
pee in the
difference.
compost sometimes. That's probably my answer.
Yeah.
I aim for the spiders.
It's kind of fueling the compost.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's the
Give me all
theorem.
that urea.
Well, imagine the weirdest answer could probably be on someone.
Well, yeah. Have you ever peed on
That's
someone?
your answer.
Yeah, people who enjoy golden showers probably love that.
Golden shower. R/Jar Media says, I consider myself pretty knowledgeable about Jar lore, and I've listened to all casts plenty of times, but
Haven't listened to this one yet.
recently reached a level of irony that even the most avid listeners cannot comprehend. I honestly have no clue what you guys are talking about for at least 20 minutes per cast now. Please continue doing this, I love it. Want to reach a point where the entirety of the episode sounds like completely nonsensical gibberish.
Well, judging that a conversation starts on a subject and continues, how the fuck don't you know what we're talking about?
I'm trying, like, what was it? Leave another comment saying, like, what this episode and what last episode was the 20 minutes you couldn't understand.
Probably literally the piss conversation. No, because it's what we said the word piss too much.
Piss.
Is it all going to be edited out?
No, I can probably, I don't know.
Don't edit the piss out. I like piss.
I'll see how it flows. And if it's too pissy, I'll put it in the bonus bit that's going to go on Patreon.
Yeah, alright.
Well, which is basically just called it James admits to having a piss kink.
Okay, I'll call it that.
Don't take that out of context. I don't.
Gravewalker has a question for Jim. How does one actually raise an indoor and outdoor cat? I've only ever owned dogs, and all my friends have indoor cats, as they can't even imagine letting their cat outside without supervision, so I'm confused how some owners do it. How do you let Billy out and trust she'll be safe and come back home?
Because she's a cat.
Yeah, basically.
This is like one of the more controversial subjects for some
Oh my
reason.
god,
Yeah.
no, but...
So let's not stay on this for 15 minutes. But
Oh yeah, we are.
when
No,
it
but
when it
this is the
became
thing.
evident that she was suffering because she was staying inside, then it wasn't a question of like, how do I do this in the most safe way? It's in your own life you take risks every day, and that's part of like feeling free and or autonomous, and to limit your pet because, I mean, a cat. If you sent a cat into some remote forest and yourself, like you skydive in, like Fortnite style, that cat is gonna live longer than you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cats-
It would probably
cats-
change the entire ecology of the...
Yeah, it would wipe everything else out that's like within a certain size.
But it's also intimidating to those who are bigger than it, so therefore it will live.
well, yeah.
This is the
Yeah,
thing.
what messes with cats?
No, we've proved this. Jamie died on this hill valiantly because he was Wong. But we've all seen the clips. Nothing wants to fuck with a cat because it's just like they'll
Apart
smack
from
them.
a car.
That's because it's a machine, bro. The machines don't stop
Yeah,
at anyone.
That's what I mean. Like,
Which I guess is people's argument, right? Where it's like, it's dangerous out there, they'll get smacked by a car or
But
kill a bird.
the good sign with Billy is that she's always been like afraid of the road.
This is an interesting thing because they mentioned their dog owner. I can tell you right now, if I open the gate, if Gaius walks out, I have no fear. He'll come back. He'll go take himself a walk and come back. I walk the farm's collie on my road because the dog is just like, I'll follow you there. It'll follow me on my walk and then go back. So, collies, man. You just go on then. I'm 100% confident that no matter what I do with my dog, he'll just do his own shit and come back. So it's like, I don't...
I'm thinking about going to Vermont and getting a marmot, bringing it back, importing it if possible.
You can't.
Oh, I'm going to do it, legally or not. Yep. Don't care about the law when it comes to this one.
Honestly, I'm
got a scary shadow on your face right now. You look really sinister.
It's the tilt when you got the cap and you...
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But with
I
that
don't
light
see-
down there
that
as
marmot's going to be all mine.
See, I
They
find
front
you
up.
less
I want,
intimidating.
like, you know, if there's any animal, you know, like to go Tarzan, you know, or Wolfman, I want to be Marmot Man, you know, like
Stand there.
This is a different...
Just the naked,
bulk up,
like-
like you get the stance, like you just front up to everybody, and you just kind of like, you're just a little bit handsy, like you're in Dune Part 1, just always like just shoving a little bit, and like if someone
Well, no,
hands you
it's
something,
more
you hold it.
anti-handsy because like if you touch them, they kind of push your hand out of the way. And to
No, but if
resume
you're
the
offering them
stance-
something, then they'll grab.
yeah, then they take. So like someone comes up to you with some like almonds, and you're like, yep,
Yeah.
and you got to chew really quick.
the Marmot guy of the hills of Vermont.
What's your deal with Vermont at the moment?
I can tell you the story, bro. I was in a vintage shop in Bristol, and what did I see with my own eyes but Vermont?
Nice. Glad you saw Vermont.
That's the story.
Hold on. Give me 1 minute.
Vermont.
No, but
I'm going to Vermont.
back my thing. Dogs are best when you treat them like cats. The best dog is a cat. A dog that's more like a cat.
It's breed dependent, right?
Yeah,
So I'd say Augie's cat-like in the way he climbs around and like.
But he's not though, because he also sees you and he's like, "Hello!" He screams at you non-stop.
Yeah.
It's like you want a dog that's just like, come on, go outside, go fucking hunt, you little shit. They're the best.
Oh, okay. Wow, look at the woodland critters.
I don't like the font. The font ruins it.
Hey. Yeah. Too dark. Vermont. We're off to see Vermont. Yeah, pretty fire. I understand that.
Gaius is on there too.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolfman.
Yeah, the little fox.
I
I like dogs.
I mean, have a bit of trust in your pet, I guess, at the end of the day, and read its language.
I also had a scenario happen that people didn't get angry about again. And it happened to do with Gaius off the lead. So I don't know if I'll have a conversation about that. No, this is the funny thing. There was also another dog off their lead. And guess what? Gaius wasn't the one who caused any problem. It was the other dog. To the point where Gaius was disengaging constantly and the other dog was being harassing. And that dog
was off lead, right?
It was off lead and it was a German Shepherd.
Yeah. That's why Paisley has all this fear now. She was charged by a young shepherd.
It is always shepherds, and it's like in that situation, I'd be like, yeah, put your dog on the lead. But I wouldn't put I did put mine on the lead, but it's like that dog shouldn't have been off the lead because it was charging other dogs. That's then it comes down to dog ownership and the person walking the dog.
Gobber Mondorf says, "Hello, Jar. Gentlemen, I have a question for James. Recently, I started a job within the aviation industry, working ground ops in the US. I was wondering if James has ever had any interest related to planes, seeing as he loves cars. I am myself considering a future career as an airplane mechanic myself. Bear boys, you guys are the best. Any plane thoughts?"
I fucking love planes.
They are cool.
As in, I have like some gaily ass romantical fantasies about planes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Top Gun makes me cry because it's just like I love planes. I love the romanticism of planes.
There is
Ace
something,
Combat.
I don't know. There's
There's
like a
the
symbol of
Ascendant.
like something. Yeah.
No, it's a symbol of
Free.
freedom. Nobody's
Yeah,
more free than fighter pilots.
Flights. Yeah.
They get to fly the skies, man. That's
it's
amazing.
like you're a superhero. You're like flying around.
In a hypersonic jet. No, planes are great. I think. Yeah, well, they are kind of war crimes. But so I love engineering and I love mechanical things. Doesn't matter what it is. I just love machines that go whir. It's like dishwashers and washing machines are naturally really fascinating because they're machines.
Yeah.
Do you feel
So-
that way about like PCs and microchips?
Nope.
You don't.
There's a
I
lack
feel
of
that about that.
mechanical movement there.
But it's like I like the idea of when you get macro, when you get tiny. That's like crazy to me.
I like big
The
machines.
tech that's involved.
No, but planes are great. I've been to pretty much every UK plane museum. There's some I want to go to, like in America, because there's a bunch cool there. And I've been to air shows. I like planes. I love the historical. Yeah, just it's like the Vulcan bomber flying over Bentley, way back in the day. That's cool. That shit. Nothing makes my hair stand more on end than fighter jets. When you hear that crackle of a fucking fighter jet as it flies over. It's like, that's fucking stunning.
I quite like the big guys, the Hercules.
Yeah,
They're cool.
Big fucking planes. And it's like when you see them, because obviously we have a bunch of the Galaxies fly over because we're near a military base. So the super big jet pad, huge planes are constantly over, and you hear them they're so deep, so fucking loud, and you can hear them ripple across the sky from miles away.
What do you think of like a stealth bomber?
Stunning. This is the only reason you want to go to Vegas. Go to the airfield and you can watch
Well, I remember on
Stuff on the
Jersey
show.
Island, we regularly would go to like the air show they would do there.
Yeah. Well, that
and-
was Red Arrows.
But they'd have
Quite
all
often.
sorts. I'm pretty. What's that plane that can hover?
A VTOL, Harrier.
Yeah, it was a Harrier.
Hmm.
Like, was there, and it's like so fucking loud, but like so cool and intimidating.
It's like what I've said before. I think I've said it on the cast. I've said it to you. It's just like, go back to any time, World War II, when you're just in the English countryside and there's like fucking flights of Spitfires flying over. The War of Merlins. That shit, like dream material. Any day of the week, I'd want that.
Material. You see that during the day and
No, well, no, because
bomb
obviously,
shopping at night.
no, as in like if you
In
saw
the
like,
countryside.
yeah, if you saw like a wing of Spitfires, that shit's like, we're doing this, we're gonna win this war. There's like patriotism to that,
Yeah.
but it's also beautiful.
They are very cool planes.
You go home to your dirt and one egg for
Yeah.
dinner. Yeah.
Your
And
rations.
I don't think that trade-off is
Just
really worth
everything
it,
about
really.
the Spitfire is cool. The name,
Yeah.
the visual design,
Yeah,
the
I think
symbol of it.
It's interesting because it's like if you saw Spitfire fly over, you're like, that is a beautiful plane.
That is. It's
Yeah.
like-
And at the same time, in that era, if you saw two Messerschmitts, you'd be fearing for your fucking life.
to me,
It's like the whole of
yeah,
it and the
yeah.
beauty of it. in
they're like
one.
evoking like dragon imagery. Spitfire.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's
I
really
think
cool.
that was to me that's like the one era of some sort of nationalistic, militaristic pride for England.
Well, yeah, because
the
there was
UK.
no like, it's not like invading the Middle East. It was like, well, we're being bombed by
Yeah,
And it's
the,
not
the
just,
mustache twirling bad guys. Like,
and it's
what
not
choice
just.
have we got?
They're not just bombing it; they're bombing just towns and
Yeah.
innocents. So it's like, yeah, you want to be on that front line. You want to be gunning them down. You want to be in your planes fighting. And the fact that it was seen as such a patriotic, we're fighting a bigger military.
Yeah. Well,
We've
that's
got
like, that's
enough-
like a just like when your home's being attacked. Like, that's the only thing I could justify like going to war for. You know, I'm not gonna be going to other people's land, but if they're coming to yours, like, what the hell choice have you got? It's your home.
But no, I absolutely adore planes. I would love to be in a position where I can work on them, being in an engineering field. If that, so someone from my work recently actually got a job with the only like proper, like authenticated rebuilder of Merlin engines in the world. He's
Wow.
working there building Merlin engines, and he basically did the same job as me. And it's like, if an opportunity like that popped up, fuck yeah, go build World War II engines. Amazing. I love that stuff, and I love tanks. Because I recently went to the Imperial, the Bovington Tank Museum, which is one of the biggest tank museums in the world, and it's like, you think back to like World War II era machinery, and it's like when you see a German like Jag Tiger, and the fact that it's fucking monstrous in size, and it's like if you look at it, you get scared. And that's not in a battlefield. You're watching it in a shed, and it's scary.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Engineering is crazy, and I love just especially German engineering of that time being so brutalist and so fucking slab-sided. It's like, yeah, that's evil. That's evil incarnate.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
They like perfected the evil aesthetic.
Literally.
yeah.
There's nothing pleasing from that era. Like, even their guns are like, yeah, this is just an evil gun, baby.
Quite impressive how they managed to do that.
Well, yeah, when you got like Hugo Boss and like Mercedes.
I do love that era, that meme of just like, yeah, never ask a German company what it's doing during World War II. It's like, oh. But no, I do love anything engineering, and I do love planes. So
Well, yeah, wasn't NASA a Nazi invention?
no, yeah, that's no, it was one of the founding members of NASA. Was the born hyper famous scientist guy, but he also developed the V2 missiles that were launched at Britain
Yeah.
during World War II, and he
I'm
was.
so bad with names. Faces, I remember.
I'll find his name. I'll find his name because I want to be historically accurate for the man.
It's crazy.
The N in NASA stands for Nazi.
Werner von Braun. Werner.
Penultimate one here from Finnish Georges Sorel. I don't know if you talked about this, but lately I watched Rebuild of Evangelion, and the movies
Oh no.
fucking sucked. Like, Jesus.
Shut
How
up.
can you make something so good so bad? So have any of you, aka James, watched them?
What's his argument?
That's all he said.
That rebuild is nothing more than Hideaki Anno wanting to give his characters some of the most iconic characters ever to come out of Japan, a happy ending. That's all it is. It's just like, oh, these characters are actually not being traumatized. They're actually dealing with their trauma.
Isn't
and
it
they're
undercutting like the point of it though? Right? He's like, the thing that gave the original one all its like meaning and everyone like loves it for that reason, right? For exploring like depression and
but it's not. It's exploring the worst ways to deal with that. All the characters do everything wrong to deal with their own issues, and Rebuild is just the characters not doing
the
that.
statement on depression, though, right?
Yes,
By making
there's more to
out,
it.
It's like
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
but that's why it's the Rebuild. That's why it's not. Evangelion is weird in that it's not alternative. It's just like the original series Rebuild, End of Evangelion and Rebuild is just kind of one storyline. There's nothing more deviating from that. You need to see it as one direct storyline.
They are Final Fantasy VII remaking it. Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
both are
but no, technically at the same time it's a sequel.
That's what the Final Fantasy one's doing as well. Where like they're changing things, but it's like they're still both canonical.
Almost,
There's some weird loophole like that.
I like the Rebuild of Evangelion. I like it because the aesthetic is really nice. I like the animation; it's great. But I just love the extra exploration of those characters, and it's just like, oh, these characters are actually they're dealing with this better, and therefore I like it.
Me too.
Me 3.
But it's funny. I do find it funny because it's just like, man took almost a decade to release the last movie. It's like I feel like a lot of people just sad that it's like these miserable characters are getting happy endings. I feel like that, and there's being on the 4chan era when the rebuilds were airing. You know, I saw a lot of the hate. I spent a lot of time in the Evangelion threads. People just hate them because it's trying to be different from the original. But that's its point.
Not enough Vermont for me. I might like it more.
Bro, it's based in Vermont. That's why they're all mentally ill.
Right, finally then, Jonatron can take us away. Hello, Joe. Recently, scientists discovered a worm-like amphibian who secretes milk out their ass for their young to drink. My question is, if we were to begin harvesting this milk, would you want to drink it? If so, would you be interested if we could turn it into cheese? Personally, I think worm cheese sounds like an exciting future prospect. So yeah, there's a New York Times article. Bizarre worm-like and oozing milk for their babies. Amphibians called salians add cloacal secretions of a nutritious material similar to milk to their numerous quirks, according to a new study. I love Mother Nature.
So it's just
like pigeon milk. Would you drink pigeon milk?
Yes.
Why did we see any liquid that's white and be like, oh, it's milk, can we drink it?
No, it's what it means. It's what it means for those creatures. If it's like
milk.
If it's a substance that the body creates for the young, it's milk.
Yeah, but we also shouldn't be drinking cow's milk, so why should we be drinking any milk? I'm anti-milk.
You had
What about
milk
bug
this
milk?
morning.
I didn't.
You did. You had 2 milky coffees.
Different, doesn't count. It's like cheese on pizza, doesn't count.
Yeah, you had a cheesy lunch as well.
I did have to, bro, I've eaten a lot of cheese. Unusual, because I don't like
You
cheese.
just said you had a halloumi wrap.
Yeah, that's cheese.
Okay, fuck, I've eaten loads of cheese. Ignore that, ignore me.
Yeah, and you drink milky coffee every day.
I don't, I drink Americanos every day, actually. And they're some of the worst Americanos you've ever tasted. They're fucking grim. Like, straight up, it's putting me onto instant.
Here's the question, though. If it solved hunger for everyone, you know?
If one squirt was enough to feed you for a week, would you eat the
well,
squirt?
This is kind of what I'm saying. If by utilising worm milk we could annihilate any hunger, no more suffering of that
I'm
regard.
picturing like, imagine
this is-
imagine a worm like a big hot dog sausage. Season it,
Oh my god.
eat it
stop
right up. That's what? It's like dense with protein.
You're
They're basically
thinking-
already a sausage.
You're thinking of the Blade Runner protein farms, but not just eating the protein of the fat worms, we're also eating the squirt out of their arse.
Well, yeah, the milk.
That could be the seasoning for
You
the
don't-
worm.
Then you can have the milk and the protein.
You don't typically eat like an entire thing, though.
I do.
You don't eat like the chicken's bones. Because worms don't have bones, I guess, so I don't know if it's a
Slop.
moot point.
Yeah, that's fine. They got different physiology.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a feeling, you know,
that wormy kind of feeling.
that anti-worm consumption kind of feeling.
I want to consume a
You know?
worm.
There's
Something just tells you it's wrong.
there's a barrier there for sure.
That's because we haven't spent enough time in like an apocalyptic world where we need to eat the worm.
Would it be normalized? Could
No.
it be normalized?
If they were like genetically engineered to like taste, if you could get like the beef worm, the chicken worm.
No, that's a different issue to me.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's genetic manipulation.
Which is awesome. It's like, you know, they like
Is it like
they
a living
do that with
worm
fruit,
at
you
some
know,
point?
where it's like we took a pear, we took an apple, we made a papple.
Yeah, that's fuck.
That is fucking fire.
That's good. Messed up.
Do you know?
That's
But,
awesome.
do you know the most important thing would be the societal impact? Because you know how Piers Morgan was literally crying on live TV about the vegan sausage roll. He'd be crying about the proteins worm.
That's such a
fucking
weird
sausage
like
roll.
why
It's
do you
so
care?
pathetic, man. These can you take them into the wilderness and
Why
set
do you
them
care
back
so
out?
much?
But it doesn't come at the cost of your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, they're selling
Sausage rolls have been banned. Only vegan rolls are now the legal.
The
version.
funniest thing about that was that the vegan ones are just the normal ones, but taste better.
Yeah, they're like
They actually
no
have
different.
flavour.
Like the Greg's sausage roll is so processed already
Yeah.
that like it's barely a sausage roll.
Yeah, so just eat the one that's so spicy that just happens to be vegan.
Yeah, what difference does it make?
Like everyone
It's
thinks they
equally
taste better.
fake.
I love the veganism and vegetarian options as like they're connected to the woke somehow. It's like
True, people get really upset about that for some reason. But it's that classic thing where it's like the haters are almost more annoying. And, like,
Yeah.
vegan haters, like it's like an impassioned vegan can be annoying as fuck. But like so can the people who hate the vegans, where it's like why does this bug you so much? Like just eat your fucking steak. Like the people that like they go out their way, they go to supermarkets and they're like, what the fuck? And they like grab
Yeah.
a handful of like Beyond Burgers and just go put them in like a different aisle so they go bad. It's like, yeah, I just fucking owned those fucking
The
vegans.
libs.
those fucking
Exactly.
wigs. Do you know there's something? I was at Sammy's yesterday, world famous Sammy's, and the guy in front of me ordered a kebab. And it came to it, and Sammy had it, a fucking pile of it. This guy was large. He was like, any salad? And he was like, no. Any sauce? No. And Sammy was just like, what? No sauce, no nothing. And it was just this fucking mound of doner meat. And he was like, oh. He was just like, no, I can't have any of that good stuff. And this guy, fucking guy just walked off with a fucking plain doner kebab with nothing but doner.
That's
It's like
dark.
even if Sammy is sitting there like you for real, like man, it's never come
It's
back.
not right. It's not right.
I get it. Like Sammy's kebab, some of the people who go there monted. Who the fuck orders a kebab with no salad or seasoning or sauce?
But like, what's with the salad hate? Come on,
How can you have a kebab and not a salad?
just have a little leaf. That's all.
It's you can literally pick the lettuce, the most fucking bland salad. Like
All it does is add crunch.
yeah, it's not like onion. Like I even add onion now because I'm adding more of the salad because you know I was a little bitch.
I get all, man. I want
Yeah,
all.
everything.
Just
Apart from
slop
chili
that.
peppers, I don't feel chili peppers. all the time.
Yeah,
Bit acidic.
it's because they're like full of water. So you like bite the end off.
Yeah,
and then,
full
like,
of acid. yeah. Instant heartburn. What was the question?
Vegan sausage, worm.
Vegan.
See, this
Oh,
is
yeah, it was worms.
this is the example of the guy not knowing what we're on about because we don't even know what we're on about.
I think if I was brought up to drink worm milk, then I would. But as it
Yeah.
stands,
If it was
no.
socially acceptable to drink worm milk,
It's not about
Yeah.
societal
Chicken worms.
acceptability.
I wouldn't eat it. No, I wouldn't drink it. I
No,
don't
but
know
let's say-
what consistency is.
Say in this hypothetical world, I run a taco van, right? But like
worm.
you choose, like, you know, it's like, what do you want? Your vegan worm? Do you want your chicken worm? Do you want your beef worm? Your pork worm?
Your mushroom worm.
Mushroom worm?
I don't. Yeah.
You could get crazy. Like if it's all ethically okay because you're just messing with the genes, you could be like, this one tastes like human.
How can it be a vegan worm if it's literally a worm?
Yeah, why does it make it ethically okay? Because you're messing with the genes.
Because it's not like an actual human has been harvested and. It's like,
No, but a worm has been harvested to be genetically modified to be chicken.
I thought you meant like there's no debate.
Well, like they're not actually.
vegans.
It's not actually a chicken.
No, but it's been genetically modified
but
to
it
be
is
chicken.
actually
the
a worm.
flesh of the worm tastes like chicken.
But there's more to taste than taste.
Yeah, the texture might not be right,
Yeah.
but like
No, this is the thing. The best part about eating chicken is the texture. It's that it's like you're like why you like it. So genetically modifying the squishiness of it's like imagine the scorpion body. Yeah, imagine if that tasted like chicken. I'm not going to eat that over chicken.
Yeah. Because it will still be scorpion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't want to eat the scorpions. You don't actually have a real life application of your.
I've eaten worms. I've eaten mealworms.
Yeah.
You have eaten mealworms.
I've eaten locusts.
You've eaten mealworms.
Geelworms.
You've eaten geelworms.
Yeah. Yeah. When dried, you know?
when in dried.
When worm dried. Yeah, it's kind of like cereal. Well, like the locust I ate was like kind of...
What like liquid goes with like mealworms? Like if you want to kind of reawaken them, rehydrate them.
Milk. Yeah, like a bowl of like Cheerios.
That makes
That's a pre-workout. Like you have a bowl of worms in milk.
Yeah. Well, like roll the worms up into an O before you dry them. Wormios. Worm milk in the bowl.
Yeah.
Worm protein deluxe.
Do you know when you go to those like pet shops and they have the containers just full of living animals?
Yeah.
That shit makes me free because when you see the big ones, it's like, fuck,
Yeah, is that ethically okay?
No.
To cram like locust into
Bugs.
this tiny...
I guess it's the argument of like the relative misery bugs feel compared to more sophisticated nervous systems and.
It's good because they're always in like Chinese takeaway containers as well. It's like it's just good. I don't like this, man. And I like snakes.
I don't. Yeah, morally, I don't know if you can like
Because like, there's that's part of the pescatarian,
Don't
like
stick a spoon in a fucking head. Fucking hell.
right. That's like the argument where it's like, well,
fish don't feel.
Fish
It's
don't
like,
feel.
what do you mean though? Because they obviously have the sense to be like, oh, this hurts. I'm going to get away from it. That's the same as us. That would be like me hurting you, being like, well, that being clearly doesn't want to be in that like situation of pain, but I'm not sure whether it's actually feeling what I feel when I feel
I think
pain,
we have
so it's fair game.
We have an annoying way of like comparing our exact experience as humans and putting it on animals and being like, well, because they don't have like family structures that completely echo humanity, that means they're dumb in comparison.
Yeah, and they don't care.
And they don't care.
Like when you see a hamster eating its children.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that hamster's saving its children from the curse of being trapped
like,
in a...
Like a fish in the ocean, it's like way more equipped for that environment. And it's doing a good job. Like it's what it's meant to do. Like it's not meant to do anything else.
But also to just assume that like you can't hurt it.
Like we're the odd ones out as far as like the crazy.
Well, I think our lived experiences are probably more similar to animals than we give credit.
Mm-hmm.
I think we
just because we got all these complex layers of socialization.
We've got the ability to like communicate.
We got language and
consciousness
and all these added layers.
But I mean, I'd argue that animals have consciousness.
Yeah. It's just a different type, probably. Like
maybe
the nature of their physiology.
Less self-aware, maybe not self-aware, and not the
But even an animal without self-awareness, like that doesn't mean it's like less valuable.
No,
you know.
Well, I mean, like I have moments without self-awareness. When I'm just
I've met plenty of people who
yeah,
no
yeah, but I mean,
self-awareness.
like in those moments when you're doing something menial, you like lose track of you become an automaton. You become like a robot.
Your subconscious mind just takes control.
And
well, it's like you don't think about breathing. You don't think about like the fact your brain is blocking out your nose and your periphery. Like
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So but to look at a fish and be like, fuck specifically them, because I'm just gonna believe that they don't feel pain. Like I don't like justifications like that.
Do you think that pufferfish felt pain when it was force-fed the carrot?
Yes.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
And they was executed.
Yeah. Bashed on the head with the blunt end of a knife. Poor guy.
It's like horrible and frightening. Like, imagine being like us, right? And then some like grand being like just reaches down, picks us up, and you can see it like sending brain waves through space and time to his friend, like, and it's like, watch this, and then he gets like a giant cosmic carrot and starts stuffing it down your throat, and you're like and they're like, look how funny this is, and then plunks you down and bashes you with a fucking giant rolling pin.
This is why you shouldn't laugh. This is why people laugh at animals being suffering and fucking
it's
ape
psycho.
behavior. Like what you're thinking of is like a chimp that's just picked up a frog and is like using it like
As a
flashlight. Like Mother Nature's like brutal, man.
It's awful,
Humanity
and we
like
forget
the
that
Harkins.
we're like part of it.
Yeah, we are. Well,
We're
we've
products
literally
of
mean
nature.
we've literally memed that fucking pufferfish video, and we found it funny constantly.
Yeah,
like, we are cruel fucking.
It's hard not to like, and obviously, my morals like don't align with how I live and like eat and stuff. I eat animal products like every day. I have a chug jug of whey mixed with milk every day. Like it doesn't line up.
That's one of those things where if we survive long enough, like as humanity, this period will be looked at like what you guys were doing to animals. It's like fucked on a scale. Like we can't even.
But not just animals, like the whole planet. Like for a long time, we've just not given a shit. You know?
Yeah, this is why we need
Biden.
This is why we need Biden.
so we can bomb the Middle East more.
So we can go on a different war for oil. Really treat the planet with some respect.
I hear they're gonna go for Why don't
bring back the
rip that pufferfish?
Yeah, genuinely. I'm sorry that happened to you.
I am as well.
Maybe our like freedom fighter movement symbol should be that pufferfish. With a bit of carrot in it.
That would be our like national anthem.
Like the group's called like the Carrot Mouths or something.
That's a dog whistle, like a cat. You just walk around with carrot.
What's up, dog? You know, bunnies, they don't even eat that part of the carrot.
What part?
You know, like, what's up, doc? Like, he's like chewing on a carrot. Bunnies don't eat the red bit. They would eat the green bit. Like carrots, like they're underground. Like, they don't dig them up, then eat the carrot. They just eat the green bit. They don't eat carrots.
Yeah, that makes sense.
On that note,
how do they plant more?
That disturbing fucking little factoid.
On that note, I'll end the episode on that little factoid.
Poo. Wee.
Yeah.